Hello, welcome to Class 12 Business Studies, Chapter 11 Marketing Explanation, Part 12. Today's topic is publicity. So before we start with public relation, let me tell you what does publicity means. Publicity is similar to advertising but in an unpaid form of communication, as it does not involve any direct expenditure by the marketing firm. See, okay, publicity, what they are trying to say is publicity, they are similar to advertising. Publicity means to make it famous, so it is a kind of similar to advertising but in a non-personal form of communications, and it does not require any money. However, as against it is a like non-paid form of communication, publicity they generally take place when favorable news is presented in the mass media about a product or services. Publicity generally takes place when some attraction takes place, the product which provide a good services to the customers and are providing a satisfaction to them. Like, for example, if a manufacturer achieves a breakthrough by developing a car engine, this is an example, okay, so which runs on a water instead of petrol. That means a car running on a water instead of petrol. Then this news is covered by the television or radio or newspaper in the form of news items. So this is when the reporter make it public, when the reporter make the product famous, means that does not cost any money. So this is one way of a kind of advertising but with unpaid mode. So it would be termed as publicity because the engine manufacturer would benefit from such disseminations of informations about its achievement by the media but would not bear any cost for the same. So that is why publicity is something which is done by the help of social medias like radio, newspapers, news channels and so on, where it does not charge any money. So for that you need to make a product in such a way that it attracts the customers and which benefits the customers and in return satisfies them. So that is how publicity takes place. So that is why it is said that publicity is an unpaid form of communication where it does not involve any direct expenditure by the marketing firm, and also there is no identified sponsor for the communication, as the message goes as a news item. Like, supposing if anything goes viral, they do not require any advertisement, it just becomes like, for example, that the song, the small boy who sang that Bachpan Ka Pyar, for example, see, he just sang a song and see now it became so famous. So publicity, that is how the publicity takes place. So it was all over the reels, and they were making a video on that song, and also Bacha also made a song with him. So that's all publicity. It does not require any like, it should attract the customers, it should make something very interesting for them to make such publicity. So that is how it is done. So in publicity, as the information is disseminated by an independent source, for example the press, in the form of news stories and features, you see stories, features, you see many publicity in there, the message has a more credibility. Then if that comes as a sponsored message in advertising, whereas in advertising sponsors are required, whereas in publicity no such sponsors are required. So also, as the message goes in the form of news rather than the direct sales communications, so it can reach even to those persons who otherwise may not pay attention to paid communications. When they see it's becoming viral, anything that is becoming viral or any product, people are more frequently watching all those things, so they pay more attention to it. So because people become very inquisitive to see all those things, they inquiry. However, an important limitations of publicity is that as a medium of promotion, it is not within the control of a marketing firm. Always remember, publicity is not within the control of marketing firm. The media would cover only those piece of informations which of the news are worthy and which are attracting the customers and which are being more interested to everybody and which symbolizes some achievement in the field. Thus, a firm cannot or can't use publicity to actively promote its product. So it naturally happens with the help of newspapers, radios, medias, and so on. So this was the meaning of publicity. Now we'll move on to the public relations. Now let's see what the public relation has to say. So now let us start with the definition of public relations. First one says public association relations defines the public relation as an art and social science of analyzing trends, predicting their consequences, counseling organizational leaders, and implementing planned program of actions which will serve both the organizations and the public interest. Second one says the Chartered Institutions of Public Relations defines public relations as a strategic management functions that add value to an organization by helping it to manage its reputations. And the third one says public relations covers a wide range of activities such as providing information to media source in the hope of gaining favorable coverage. It also involves a mix of promoting specific products, services, and events and promoting the overall brand of an organization. It is said that under the public relations or a public relations, managing public opinion of an organization is an important task which can be performed by the marketing department. The business needs to communicate effectively to the customers, suppliers, and dealers since they are instrumental in increasing the sales and profit. So the person who does a business should always have a patience and should be able to communicate with them in a very effective manner, whether it's a customers, suppliers, or dealers, since they are the one who helps in the sales and profit. So besides those who come into direct contact with the organizations or its product, there are other members of the general public whose voice or opinion is equally important. So this public may be interested in the company and its product and have an impact on the business ability to achieve its objectives. So apart from four major elements of marketing mix, another important tool of marketing mix is maintaining a public relations. In simple words, public relations means maintaining a very good public relations with the public. By maintaining public relations, companies they create a goodwill. So that is why they should always treat them in a very good manner and also should be very like they should be honest towards the customers, not only the customers, the dealers and the suppliers as well. So public relations evaluate public attitudes, identify the policies and procedures of an organization with a public interest to earn public understanding and acceptance. So public also plays a vital role in evaluating each and every policies and procedures of an organizations. So So public does not mean only the customers, but it includes shareholders, suppliers, intermediaries, customers, etc. The firm's success and achievements depend upon the support of these parties also. For example, firm or a company need to actively support the middlemen to survive in the market. So they must have a good relation with existing shareholders who provide the capital to the firm. So the consumers group is the most and important part of public, as success of business depends upon the support and demand of the customers only. So they are the ones who makes the product good or a bad. They are the ones who judge the product. So that is why customers, they plays a very important role, because they are the ones who uses all those products which have been manufactured by the firm. So in return, they should be able to satisfy their needs and wants. So this was the meaning of public relations. Now next we will discuss on the role of public relations. So under the role of public relations, there are about 6 points. Number 1, press relations. Number 2, product publicity. Number 3, corporate communications. Number 4, lobbying. Number 5, counseling. And number 6, helps in achieving marketing objectives. And under that, there are 4 points. Number A, building awareness. B, building credibility. And number C, stimulate sales force. And number D, lower promotion cost. Now let us go in detail. So the public relations department, they mainly performs 5 functions. Okay, so number 1 says press relations, which means that the public relation department is in contact with the media. So they are mainly in touch with media to present the true fact and a correct picture about the company for making it more publicity. Otherwise, needs can be distorted if taken from another sources. So this department presents the informations in a positive manner in the press and makes the company more renowned. Number 2, product publicity means the public relation department makes specific or special efforts to publicize the new products to make the newly launched product more famous. So this department manages sponsoring of such events. So they arrange sports and cultural events, news conferences, seminars and exhibitions to make the product more of publicity. The third one says corporate communications. So with the help of newsletters, annual reports, I think many of you have seen in the even the bank gives their annual report. Many, not only the banks, but many other companies as well, they also release the annual reports, brochures, articles and audiovisual materials. The public relations department communicate with the public and the employees. So speeches by the company's executives, the higher authorities at a meeting of trade associations or trade fairs can really boost the company's image, so that the people, they get motivated. So that is why such things also takes place. Lobbying, the organizations has to deal with the government officials. Obviously they need to follow the rules, the policies and procedures of the government as well. So that is why they have to deal with the government officials and different ministers with respect to the policies which are related to business and the economy of the country. So the public relation department try to maintain a healthy relationship with the Association of Commerce and Industries. So if they follow the rules, the procedures, the policies along with the government, then simultaneously they will be able to work work out in the business and with the country as well. And number 5 says counseling. The public relation department, they advise the management on a general issues which affects the public, so that the company can build goodwill, or the company can create a the renowned, they can the reputation of the company also, you can say, by contributing money and time for certain causes like environment, children's right, educations, wildlife, etc., by giving them the uh, by being social, by also helping the people in need. So such all things also uh, helps in the public relations. And number 6 says helps in achieving marketing objectives because of the following points. Number A says building awareness, means public relation department can place stories and dramatize the product in the media, so that this will build marketplace for product before it reaches the market. And the second one says building credibility. If new about, like supposing if news about the product comes in the media, whether print or electronic, it always lends credibility and people believe in the product since it is the in the news, so they take the credit. So supposing if any product has been shown in the news, and people will be aware thinking that the whatever the news given in the news channels are the fact, and seems that the product is of good quality. And third one, number C, says stimulate sales force, which means it becomes easier for the sales force to deal with the dealer relation if they have already heard about the product in the news before and it is launched. So even the retailers and the dealers also have to find it easy to sell the product to the customers, so because they are already aware of such products. And number D says lower promotion cost, means maintaining good public relation cost much less than advertising. So that is why they should always keep the bonding, the relations good with the, whether it's a customers, whether it's a dealer, suppliers, or anyone. So they need to maintain a good relations, and they need to communicate with them in a very effective manner, so that the business works smoothly, functions in a good way, and also they will be able to survive for a longer period of time in the market world, and will be able to compete with other business as well. So with this we have completed with the chapter marketing.